Well, I don't know where to begin. We are North Americans, and for those of you who still think we're from England, we're not.
No, we're not.
We've been on planes and
Thank you for tuning in to the Other People's Show on 92.5 WLSD, 1220 AM, and WLSDradio.com. It's going to be a fun show tonight. Real talk. What a show, right? What a fun show. Never heard it before. I will check it out and listen to the replays and stuff. I think it was on, I don't know, Facebook, TikTok, Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, the Other People's Show. Hey, that's this show. So that show and this show has the same social media? Wow. No, I know a lot of you all might think that the host of that show and the host of this show have a very similar timbre. Is that the word? Voice, tone, inflection. You would be incorrect. That would be your ears deceiving you. And you don't think that your ears can deceive you. I know you don't think this. But they can. And they have. Very true. But very false. But how's everything going with everyone? I don't want to be like every other show. Like every other news show. Like every other talk show. Like every other podcast show. But we must address it. And I'm going to address it. And I'm going to address that. How have you all been enjoying the heat? Now, a lot of people I've seen post that they're looking forward to the cooler weather. Or I hear people water cooler talk. That they say they want it to be winter. They don't like this heat. I don't really have a problem with the heat. Because really, if you think about it, in the heat, you honestly can always cool down. Now, if your heat goes out, I do feel bad for you. I mean, not heat, excuse me. Let me strike that, reverse it. If your air goes out, I do feel bad for you. Yes. But I've got a solution for you. You can get some, what you can do is you can get some ice. You can get some ice from a convenience store, from Food City, from a grocery store, Target, Walmart, anywhere that has ice. You can put it in the tub and lay in the ice bath. You can pour cold water on your head. All these things that you can do. All these many things that you can truly do. And that's what I suppose you can do. And you just play foreigner. And if you think cold, you'll be cold. Become one with the ice. That's what you do. You become one with that ice. And you're going to be willing to sacrifice a little bit of dignity, a little bit of time that you're going to have to spend to put this ice in your bathtub, lay down in it, and cool down if this heat took out your AC. And you're just going to have to call in and say, listen, I'm going to have to get some ice on discount here because I cannot take it any longer. Now, does it bother me? No. It doesn't really bother me. Because, I think the heat, and I do sympathize, if you don't like the heat. I don't like the cold. I don't like the winter. I've talked about that this past winter. Everyone saw the emotional shows. Those are the winter shows. Those are the depression shows. Those are the months of sadness shows. You don't get that. Well, a lot of last year were those shows. But this year, in the summer, you're not getting that show. You're not getting the sadness because it's warm. It's better that way. It's better, I think, to be warm and for it to be daylight a little longer and to get out and like I've said before, get out, do things, set goals, accomplish things. Every day, every night, have a list. But you can make that list while you're in the ice bath if your air goes out. That's what you have to do. And if that's what you have to do, that's what you've got to do. He's saying ice. He's saying ice. But that's true. And another thing I have been doing, and I've been doing it healthy, in a healthy manner, a healthy way. And I've done this to kind of save a little bit of money. As everyone knows, food prices are going up out of control. And I'm not really one to eat fast food, but I've noticed they have went up as well. I always, that's one word. I always do research. And the research has concluded by my financial bank statements that the money's not stretching as far as it used to. And everything's going up. That being said, I've decided in a more healthy way to do a partial fast, which is what I'm doing. Now, a fast I know is giving up, a lot of the foods and maybe just, sticking to the healthy liquids and things of this nature. But my fast does include food. And it doesn't because many years ago, I did some kind of a cleanse, and it was like a 7-day cleanse, I think. 7 or 8 day cleanse. And you had to mix up. This is a kind of a weird. It was like a 7-day cleanse, but you mixed in like syrup and cayenne pepper and all these ingredients. There's a video on my Facebook page from years back, probably 2007. And it was despicable. It was terrible. And what even made it worse was that the syrup that you used was like you had to get this $25 syrup to use in this cayenne pepper monstrosity that was some kind of cleansing thing. And I think I ended up doing it for maybe 4 days. Not a long time. But I did do it for about 4 days. And I just did it to see if I could do it. I didn't do it to lose weight or anything like that. But I'll be honest with you. The trailer, the teaser trailer number 2 for Midlife, it was a soft release the other day because the project is still in development, but as ideas come along, they're being shot and used in trailer form. So that's what's going on there. So as going there and watching the trailer to that, and I'll go ahead and stand up in studio, is that I was seeing these. My apartment for a little while, I had flies for just a little while coming in through the window sill. And I did everything I could to stop this. And it would just be just a few every once in a while. I would get tape around it, get, paper towels, stuff around it. And then I got the bright idea, hey, let me get this bug spray and spray around it. And then I did that, took care of it. No problem. Ladybugs too, they were coming in as well. But they were getting to the point where it was disruptive when I was trying to sit there and edit, when I was trying to sit there and do, play a game of Uno, sit there doing exercise, watching a movie, whatever it was. These little bugs, ladybugs included, I'm sorry, ladybug lovers, but I'm including you all too. Not you all, but the bugs, the ladybugs, not the people. And not the movie starring Jonathan Brandis and Rodney Dangerfield either, which is a fun little movie. That being said, these, the other day in my bathroom, which is a fairly decent sized bathroom, well, I'd seen in my apartment just one fly just flying around. And I had went ahead and closed the doors. Well, the door and cornered it in the bathroom. Closed that, and I was in there with a paper towel roll trying to hit around as I saw this fly, trying to hit the fly. And when I went back and I watched the video, which is now the trailer to Midlife Part 2, or the trailer number 2 to Midlife, is I noticed that I didn't like the way I looked. So I thought, I if you watch the YouTube version, I edited that part out so you won't see it. Only I saw it. Only I. Unless you go on the Facebook page and you've seen it, and there's a couple hundred people that's seen it on there. But anyway, I thought, okay, I can 2 birds, 1 stone. 2 birds, 1 stone. I can cut down my food bill, and I can also make myself look a little better in a healthy manner. So I've increased the exercise to a little better. Don't eat after a certain time. Started doing healthier things. I'd slacked off a little bit, and now fasting minimally, which means I'm going to eat 1 meal a day, but in the confines of that day, if I want possibly, let's say I want a blueberry muffin, an apple cinnamon muffin, whatever muffin, that is okay as well. If I want to have 10 pepperonis, 10 single pepperonis, I can do that as well. If I want to have, for today, for example, I got these donuts today, and I think I've had 4 glazed donuts today, and 4 glazed donuts and probably 60. Let's see, I would say 60 ounces of water. I'd say, and I will say this. And this is to anyone out there that doesn't think they can do it, but you can. And this is something that I'm a little bit ashamed to even admit, especially on a popular show, is that it's to the point now that let's see, Thursday, today is Friday, that it is 29 days that I have been clean of Red Bull. No Red Bull in 29 days. Now, if you calculate that, because I would often not buy Red Bull in any kind of bulk fashion, because my intention was always never to drink one the next day. But I would stop, and my downfall would be the taste, the flavor, because I would never get the regular. I would alternate. And if I wanted to, stop, I could possibly linger and go back to the original and drink a few sips and be like, no. But I didn't do it that way this time. The key, it'll cut your financial savings. This will give you financial savings in every regard. Every regard. Not just with the Red Bull, but in every regard. Do not go inside the convenience store. Do not go inside the convenience store. Pay for the gas at the pump. You want to take chips with you? Buy chips at the store. Take them with you. Buy water in bulk or soda. I don't recommend soda, but if you drink soda, whatever it is, take it with you. Don't stop on the way to anywhere that you think you might stop. Oh, well, we'll stop up here and get something to drink. Don't stop up there and get something to drink. Go through your financial bank statements monthly right now. Pull it up right now. We'll wait. Well, we won't wait. But anyway, pull it up and you go through, and this will take a little bit of time, but it's worth it. It's worth it. Get a notebook, something to write down these figures in. And you make a list of, how much you spend on gas and how much you spend on food. And then write your bills out. But then make a category for convenience store purchases. Now, I'm not talking about gas. Oh, I had to stop and get gas. I know you do. Everyone has to stop and do that. I don't want to stop and do it because I look at 312 and then I get depressed. But anyway, do not go inside there, because if you go inside there, a soda is going to cost you $2.25. A Red Bull is going to cost about $4.20. So if you take $4, let's say $4 even, and I've not drank a Red Bull in, let's say 30 days, that's $120 that I have saved in basically 30 days, because I won't drink one tomorrow, in not drinking Red Bull. So I've saved money just by not doing that. Same thing, even if it was something healthy. If I was going in and I was buying a $2 water every single day, 30 days, that's $60. If you do these things, water, soda, Red Bull, which I'm not advocating any of the soda or the Red Bull, because you really think you need it, but you don't. You think you need it, but you really don't. But if you eliminate those kind of spending habits, it will give you extra money by saving it. And wouldn't you rather either save your money or spend it on the things that you want to spend it on? Do you want to spend $2 or $3 on a can of soda? Do you want to spend $4.25 on a can of Red Bull? No. Do you want that going into your body? If you really think about it, oh, I'm addicted. I need that. No, you don't. After a certain point, you don't need it. It is an addiction. I did have the Red Bull. I stopped it. Gave in one time. Drank a little bit. Stopped for a few days. And then the flavor came back. Same thing with candy. I can control that a little bit. I'm about 4. I did have some gummy worms earlier. I will say that. But that was about the first candy I've had maybe all week. So a little better on that. But these little tips, these little jewels that I'm giving you, and that are common sense, common knowledge. It's a convenience store because it's convenient to go in there and get your needs that you want. It's not convenience in your budget, in your wallet, in your bank account, in your finances, which is where it should matter. You can get, no joke, I've got the in the studio right now. I've got these Sam's purified drinking water. These are only the 10-ounce ones. But I think it comes in 15 of those. And I think it's like $2.50. Maybe $3 at this point. But in the store, in the convenience store, you can get one probably 20-ounce for $2.20. And that's not even the same. Same thing with the big. Just don't do it. Just do not do it. Just a little tip. Don't do it. You want to ignore me? Go ahead and spend, $120 extra if you stop. Well, it's a tradition. It's a habit. I'm used to it. Everything starts off almost new at some point. Everything. You didn't just start off smoking 15 cigarettes a day, I wouldn't imagine. I would imagine if you don't smoke and then you just smoke 15 a day, that you would be so sick that you would never want to smoke again. So you would moderately smoke over time. Stop the habit. Save the money. Smoking, now this is the only calculation I'll do, and then I'll stop because I'm not Dave Ramsey, but I'll stop. Because I could give out just as good, probably not just as good. I've heard his advice, and he gives out some good financial advice. So listen to him over me. However, just don't go into the convenience store. That will save you so much money by not doing that. But just go in there. Go and look at your bank statement. Add up all the times that you go inside and purchase something inside the store. Not the gas, just the store. I did that probably 3 years ago. And I was embarrassed. Now, I was doing DoorDash then, so I would stop often and get gas and a snack. But a mistake, nonetheless. Nonetheless. Just a mistake. I know they were talking about urban legends on the last show, so I'm not really going to get into those. But there are some urban legends that have not been covered. And I'm kind of surprised that they've not done a reboot, maybe they have and I just don't know, of Urban Legend or Urban Legend movie. Because you can do completely different characters. You could just do Urban Legend and call it the same, and it doesn't even have to follow that same pattern of college students. It could be set anywhere. So I'm going to dive into a little bit of things. These will be 23 things that will immediately make you feel old. And this list was from 2023. So add a year. Well, let's see. I can probably do the math on some of these. So The Dark Knight is officially 16 years old. Can you believe that? But if you go back and watched it, it's actually aged really, really well. It's aged well. But it was 16 years ago this summer that The Dark Knight was in theaters. Pharrell is turning 51 years old. Now, can you believe that? Now, I'm trying to think the first time I actually heard Pharrell. It's been... I don't know. I've heard of Pharrell. I've heard of Pharrell, honestly, at least ever since I've been doing the show. And I started the show, way back there in 2001. And I'm sure I heard of Pharrell before then. But I know at least Pharrell on the show. And that's crazy. So yeah, he's 51 years old. Finding Nemo came out 21 years ago. Yes, your childhood ended a long time ago. Finding Nemo came out in 2001 or 2003, excuse me. So it's 21. Friends ended 20 years ago. Friends has been over a decade longer than it was on the air. And sadly, one of the members has passed. The Apple App Store launched 16 years ago. Now, this is kind of weird. I was thinking about this artist earlier today. Lorde. Remember her? Now, Royals, that's one of her first songs that I heard. My friend and I were going to, I think we were going up to Philadelphia, and this song was kind of popular around that time. And that has been 10 years ago. This was 10 years ago.
I've never seen a diamond in
And if you remember, the song had a chokehold on Tumblr users everywhere. That chokehold.
in the movies, and I'm not proud of
Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park
in the torn up
came out 31 years ago.
no postcode envy. But every song's like gold teeth, gray goose dripping in the bathroom, bloodstains, ball gowns.
Seinfeld, The Simpsons, and Saved by the Bell all debuted more than 31 years ago.
Maybach diamonds on your timepiece, jet planes, islands, tigers on a gold leash. We don't care. We aren't caught up in your love affair, and we'll never be royal.
Yeah, remember this song? You do. Cher, now Cher for a long time, and I think this was her last song, but Cher had a number one song in each decade for about 4 straight decades. And I think this was her last one, which was 26 years ago. 26 years ago, 1998. This was also the first hit song to feature the use of auto-tune, if you remember this song. Believe. 25 years ago. We said hello to Scarface over 41 years ago. Prince Harry and Meghan got married 6 years ago. The Office finale aired more than 11 years ago. Facebook is turning the big 2-0 20 this year. And the first Harry Potter book came out 26 years ago. The movie School of Rock, 21 years old this October. And if you go back and you look at the phones from like 2 decades ago, you'll have that little Nokia phone that you can play, what was it called, like Snake, that little game, Snake on there. Vine, remember Vine? It took the world by storm 10 years ago. We're closer in time to 2045 than we are to the year 2000. Now this list, that made me kind of sad. Super bad. This was another thing. Jonah Hill turning 41. Now, these were just a few things on the list. These were 23 things that will immediately make you feel old. And they did. And that was not my intention. It was not my intention at all. But a lot of things lately have been popping up. It'll be like little things on the reels of, like, 80s food that you could never get again, or 90s toys that are gone, these things like that. And I think back a little bit about that time, and I've been reflecting back on it a little bit more because one of my friends has made me reflect back upon when I lived in Washington State as a kid. And if you've heard this story before, if you've listened to the show over the years, that when I moved out there, I had all kinds of amazing toys. those toys ranged anything from Return of the Jedi toys to Ghostbuster toys to Inhumanoids, G.I. Joe, GoBots, everything in between, probably from 1982 until probably 1991. So almost a decade worth of things. Things that can no longer be gotten for cheaper prices. So upon moving back from Washington State, my stepdad was in the military. They neglected, or some of our stuff got lost upon moving across the country from Washington State to Virginia. Some of those boxes and packages that got lost or not shipped happened to be my belongings, happened to be my toys. None of them made it back. None of them made it back. And if I go on a lot of the collector sites now and look up how much things are worth, it makes me gravely ill to my stomach. No, it really doesn't make me gravely ill, but it does make me nostalgic. And it's weird, and I know you've had that thought and that feeling, and you know what I'm talking about. Is like you don't know that you don't remember something until you see it, and then you remember it. You know what I mean? That's when you remember it. Oh, I'd forgotten about that until I just saw it. And you remember it instantly. And that's how a lot of these small toys or items have made me feel. And it's made me go back and feel the first time that I acquired this item, or the last time that I remember seeing it, or that though a lot of those items were kind of what shaped me into what I've become today, because they were things that I was doing as far as like acting things out, directing these figures to perform in this manner, acting out the episodes, so have you. Doing a voice show with these figures for only myself, only to play and have fun. But it kind of shaped even what I'm doing now, telling a story to an audience that I can't see. And that's what's going on then, and that's what was going on then. Well, now, and that's what was going on then. And when I see some of these figures that my friend has, it makes me think, when I look up some of these figures, it makes me think of these figures that I had, and remember picking some of them up. I can remember we used to go to the garage sales and such on Saturdays sometimes. And it maybe only have been a couple of times, but in my mind they were vivid times, and there were nicer houses, and we would go there, and they would often have Star Wars, vehicles, ships, and I can remember the ones that I was able to get and not get, and the ones I had. And it wasn't like I obviously didn't really, quote, play with these a lot, because they were in pristine condition, which is what sickens me even more, to be honest with you, that they were in such grand condition, and that I don't have them. But anyway, it's kind of weird how suddenly time creeps up, and it's not even like you understand it, but you dislike it. And you can see what it does and how it's important. But yet it's like the only thing you can never get back. So it's really important. And that's one of the reasons, honestly, I don't always do it. That I want to do an entertaining show, because you could be using your time many other ways, but you're choosing to use your time for this show and for this station. So when I say in my heart that it's appreciated. It truly is. I truly do appreciate you all. Even as my producer chose to play this song. Why did you choose to play this? Why did you choose to play this? I don't know why. Anyway, you never know what's going to happen on the Other People's Show. It's almost time to wrap up the show. Yeah, truthfully, only just a couple of donuts today. And those things were kind of sad. Why is time so tricky? You know, I often wonder myself this. I often ponder. And just to let everyone know, the gas price in 1998, urban legend, was $1.15. I'll repeat that for those in the back. The gas price in urban legend, as she pulls into the gas station at the very beginning of the movie, was $1.14. So yeah, no mucho, not much. But thank you for tuning in to the Other People's Show on 92.5 WLSD Radio, 1220 AM, and WLSDradio.com. Go to all the Other People's Show's social media pages: Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Spotify, Instagram, The Other People's Show. Please like and subscribe. It's greatly appreciated. And a new episode of The Dark Place will be coming next month. So stay tuned. You all have a good night.